Well, normally around election times, Jamie, you hear the phrase being rolled out that it's the economy, stupid, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. It's much more about personality than policy, and also it's become a bit of a referendum on Pedro Sanchez and his last 4 years of rule. In fact, the economy is doing quite well here. The lowest inflation in Europe, under 2%. Also, record low unemployment numbers. Now, the opposition say that those numbers have been manipulated and people are worse off than ever. As the election gets closer, as I mentioned, it's become much more about Pedro Sanchez. The right bloc is trying to portray Sanchez as a failure in government, and they want to end Sanchismo, as they call it. They point to botched laws like only yes is yes consent law that allowed over 100 sexual offenders released early from prison, and various other things that they say are simply unforgivable. Here's more in our report. One final push before Spain's day of reckoning on Sunday. A referendum on current Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez 5 years in power is how many commentators see this general election. Ending Sanchismo is the central message for the centre-right Popular Party leader Alberto Núñez Feijóo, a frontrunner to become the next PM.
Estamos ante las últimas sacudidas.
We are seeing the final desperate tremors of Sanchismo and are now a single step away from change and hope for the future in Spain.
Y de la esperanza para España.
When Feijóo went head-to-head with Sanchez on the 10th of July in the only televised debate between the two, most commentators say the Conservative leader came out on top. But when Spain's national broadcaster invited the top 4 leaders for a final TV debate on Wednesday, Feijóo declined. Sanchez and his coalition partner, Sumar leader Yolanda Díaz, showed a united front on the left.
Mr. Feijóo is ashamed to appear together with his partner, Mr. Abascal. He's not ashamed to use Mr. Abascal's votes. He accepts those, nor is he ashamed of Mr. Abascal's policies, which he also accepts.
Spanish electoral law stopped opinion polling on Monday, with a PP-Vox coalition the most likely outcome according to data at that point. It's a celebratory atmosphere here at the Popular Party's closing rallies. Friday is the final day for political campaigning before the country goes to the ballot boxes on Sunday. The Spanish political pendulum swung to the right in the recent regional elections, where the PP made huge gains. And while the left has made up some ground in the recent days, the political momentum is undoubtedly with the centre-right PP and the far-right party Vox. In the last few days, however, Feijóo made an error on his party's pension record live on national TV and has also been questioned on his relationship with notorious drug trafficker Marcial Dorado. Díaz and Sanchez have gone to great lengths to portray PP and Vox as the same thing. They accuse them of being climate change deniers who will drag the country back 50 years in women's rights and other issues. Whether that strategy can turn the tide remains to be seen. Well, this is an extraordinary election in many ways, held at the height of summer, in between heat waves that have brought temperatures of over 40 degrees. No general election in Spanish history has ever been held this late in summer. Over 2.6 million people have asked to vote by mail. That is the biggest number ever, a 98% increase on the last election in 2019. People still determined to vote here despite these extraordinary circumstances.